America's obesity epidemic is getting worse. In fact, the latest research out this week in the Journal of the American Medical Association says for the first time, 40% of women in the U.S. are obese. And the number of obese men is holding steady at about 35%.
Man, we're killing ourselves with our forks, people. Our next guest is here with some tough love to help you lose weight. Steve Siebold is the author of Die Fat or Get Tough. Man,
what a title there,
when
Steve.
you say tough love, you mean tough love.
Absolutely. It's going to take something major to make this shift in America.
Why are you shaking people up this way?
Well, because nothing else is working. You know, the politically correct approach, the soft approach is not working. We are getting fatter. We are eating ourselves to death. And it's got to stop somewhere.
And we're all looking for a magic bullet. The pill, the wrap, the thing that's going to instantly basically fool us into thinking we're losing weight.
Yeah, I'm looking for that one too. So if you find it, let me know. You know, that seems easier.
That's for sure.
You've actually received a lot of flack for your toughness, but it comes from a place of personal experience.
Yeah,
and for flack, we also mean death threats.
Death threats. All over the world, mostly
crazy.
in America, though, for just saying it's self-responsibility. This is our fault. We eat ourselves to death, or we're eating ourselves fat.
You're saying we, not you, but people don't want to hear that?
No, I'd gained 40 pounds at one point, and I looked in the mirror and I thought, you know, I talk about mental toughness for a living, and I did this to myself. And that's just sad, you know. And so I solved the problem. I lost the weight, but you know, I wanted to try to make a dent in this because it's getting worse every year. And it has ever since I wrote the book, too, so I'm not sure it's working, but we're trying.
Steve, let's also talk about some myths, and there are a lot of myths out there. First and foremost, can I cheat on my diet?
Please?
No.
Not if you're fat, you can. Now, you look great, but you can't. But if you're really overweight, you really can't. Not until you get it under control.
Okay.
It's a habit that's got to be formed.
So,
wow.
So it's not like, well, it's Saturday and it's my sister's birthday and I just want a piece of cake and I'll go back on it Monday.
Probably not. Monday is never coming.
Monday is
never
coming.
coming.
Come on, this is tough.
Yeah,
here.
it's never coming. I've done the same thing. We've all done it, and that's the thing. We all can understand. We can relate to it, but it doesn't work.
Okay, but we want that piece of cake because we think it's going to honor our sister and her feelings will be hurt if we don't have it. So what do we say to ourselves in the 6 inches between our ears to make us say, no?
I'm fat, and I can't eat the cake. I'm sorry. I hope I don't offend you. I'm sorry, sister. I don't want to offend you.
Let me hold in my stomach real quick before we proceed.
Steve, we also hear so many of us say, oh, but Steve, diets, man, they just don't work for me.
Yeah.
They don't work for me,
It's a delusion.
Steve.
Diets
What?
work perfectly. They're scientific formulas. All we have to do is follow. We don't work, but the diets work perfectly every time. They're just scientific formulations.
So you're saying it's math, right?
It's math.
Calories
Absolutely.
in, energy out.
And there's so many good diets out there. You can choose some, you know, you just have to be able to stick to it. So it depends on your discipline level. It really is a mental toughness book for dieters. That's
so you could take this book and use it to build your business. You could take this book and use it to raise your kids. Anything that requires a decision.
if you're ready to grow up and get tough. I mean, you have to look in the mirror and really grow up and say,
It's like you've been in the military.
Delusion is over.
What is
Were you
this?
a Marine?
Well, no, but I work with large corporations every day, and they, you know, there's a lot of money on the line and a lot of jobs on the line, and it takes looking at life through the eyes of objective reality instead of self-delusion to make it work.
Steve, just this week I heard a phrase used that you can be fit and fat at the same time. Do you buy into that? How do you view that?
There is some evidence for that. That there are some. There's a lot of complicated things out there in terms of there are fit people they say that doctors say are not healthy, and that's a whole other thing. But for the 99.9% of us, if we're fat, we're not fit.
How can you be fit and healthy at the same? I mean, fat at what?
It's a really good question. The thing about it is that in terms of what we look at is this is a tiny percent of the population.
We don't need it.
Yeah, we're looking at this as an excuse. Don't buy into an excuse. If you have that issue, go to your doctor. They'll help you with it.
Okay,
most of us don't. We're fat and we're not healthy.
Okay. Get the book.
Get the book.
You gotta get the book. Because otherwise, Steve
I'm really a nice guy. I really am.
He's going to be looking for you if you don't get it.
Can I change seats with you?
No.
It's kind of scary.
I'm comfortable right where I am.
We're going to link to
you.
Steve's website.
Thank you, Steve. Good stuff.